Today we're going to be taking a deeper look into the latest patch for Mortal Kombat 1 on the Nintendo Switch. This is going to be patch 1.6. NetherRealm still has not given us the detailed patch notes for this update.
Weird.
Come on NRS, what the hell? So with this new patch, a lot of things have been fixed, but some things have also been Joe Biden'd.
Down $159 billion lead.
So let's start with Cyrax. The Cyrax fatality has been fixed. As you can see here, the planetary explosion is animated differently on Switch, and so while the entire fatality does play now, the audio is still bugged. But I've also seen comments of people who play the Switch version who say that while the Cyrax fatality is better now, it does still sometimes cut to a black screen. And speaking of Cyrax, in the latest patch that was made available on PS5 and Steam, to perform Cyrax's helicopter assist, you need to spend your entire meter. That change has not made its way to the Switch version yet. The shrine now performs much better. Before, it took a good long while for the dragon to melt those coins, but it's a lot faster now. But that isn't really saying much. It would be better, if you ask me, if they just got rid of the entire animation altogether and just let us spend the coins instantly. I guess watching a dragon statue spit fire is kinda cool, but sometimes you just want to spend your cash as quickly as possible so that you can get out of the menu and go do something else, right? Something more interesting. Watching a 10-second animation for every single interaction is pretty excessive. Jean-Claude Van Damme now has his correct hair color. There's a weird text glitch now that was not present before. For example, sometimes during matches, your characters are going to speak, right? Like during a brutality, and when they speak, you're going to see a black bar with white subtitles. Those subtitles will stay on screen even after the match is done, and it will stay that way even while you're in the main menu up until you start the next match. It doesn't happen every single time, but it happens enough to be noticeable. For training mode, we now have an option to tag moves to the screen, so you can look at the inputs while you're training. The next one is kind of annoying, but with this new patch, it looks like the combo challenges have been removed. When I went to check out some combos, I was greeted with Johnny Cage here, letting me know that there aren't any available. For Invasions mode, your character will now have a new pose animation. And there's also a new Mortal Kombat symbol on screen while it's loading the fight. Fights in Invasions now perform much better than before. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about anything after the finish him screen. Any move that you do during the finish him sequence will be in slow motion, and that includes fatalities and brutalities, and the entire outro, so try to avoid those in Invasions mode. And the Test Your Might segments have also seen a bit of an improvement in performance as well. Brutalities in regular online matches may have seen a bit of an improvement in the second to last patch, but in version 1.6, the newest one, brutalities now go in slow motion, which sucks, but I guess it makes it a little bit funnier if you really want to disrespect your opponent by making him watch himself be slowly dismembered. We also now have a new pyramid map in Invasions mode where you can fight Titan Baraka. There's a weird clipping bug with Melina's hair that I hadn't noticed before. Maybe it's specifically with her new Halloween costume. The Halloween themed items are now available on the Switch version, including the very expensive Halloween fatality, and if you buy it, it means that you're not very good with your money. For Towers mode, the final cutscene might perform better than it did on day one, but with this new patch, it is still very slow and the audio is still very bugged. The fights do perform well though. In the story mode, Sindel's hilarious hair glitch has been fixed. Before this patch, anytime you played Sindel in the story mode, a large part of her hair would hover about a foot away from her head. And cutscenes in the story mode still have a lot of screen tearing. And lastly, I'll quickly reiterate what I said in the last video, which is that Liu Kang's hair glitch for 2 of his alternate costumes was fixed. You can now cycle between 3 different movement speeds in Invasions mode. There was no change to the loading times. At least some of the balance changes have not made it over to the Switch. We now have Johnny Cage's Halloween mansion, and there is still no option for displaying connection ping. This patch versus day one, the game performs a lot better. So a lot of things are a lot better. The main thing that everyone's really concerned with is the loading times, and those have seen absolutely no change. Maybe a slight change in the patch notes for the last patch. They did say that loading times were improved, and if they were, it's not very noticeable. So that's unfortunate. So hopefully with the next patch we see faster loading, because that's really what I want to see. It's kind of annoying having to sit through 40-second loading times between every match. So with that said, I'm gonna keep bringing you more combo tutorials, online matches, and video game news. I'm Switch Played. Done.